As the incense lighters prepare to light the incense, let us take this page out and recite the incense chant. We say together, in gratitude, we offer this incense throughout space and time to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. May it be fragrant as earth herself, reflecting careful efforts, wholehearted awareness, and the fruit of understanding, slowly ripening. May we and all beings be companions of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. May we awaken from forgetfulness and realize our true home. Thank you. May the sound of this bell penetrate deeply into the cosmos. In even the darkest spots, may living beings hear it clearly, so their suffering will cease, understanding arise in their hearts, and they can transcend the path of anxiety and sorrow. Welcome, everyone here in person, on Zoom and YouTube. I just wanted to say, let's stand up. And before we get into our chanting, let's greet each other, however way you feel comfortable. Good morning, everyone. And we are going to start with our 3 refuge commitments, which are on page 7. I go for refuge to Buddha, my deeply awakened mind, the living source of understanding and compassion, which must be cultivated to be known fully. I go for refuge to the Dharma, the path of mindful living, leading to healing, joy, and enlightenment, the way of peace, which must be cultivated to be known fully. I go for refuge to Sangha, a loving and supportive community of practice, realizing harmony, awareness, and liberation, which must be cultivated to be known fully. I am aware that the 3 jewels are within my heart. I vow to realize them. I vow to understand living beings and their suffering. I vow to cultivate loving kindness and compassion, and to practice joy and equanimity. I vow to live simply and sanely, content with few possessions, and to keep my body healthy. I vow to let go of all worry and anxiety in order to be light and free. I am aware that I owe so much to my parents, teachers, friends, and all beings. I vow to be worthy of their trust, to practice wholeheartedly, so that understanding and compassion will flower, and I can help living beings be free from their suffering. May the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha support my efforts. May the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha support my efforts. May the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha support my efforts. Next page, page 8, we'll recite the Heart Sutra, which we recite the name of the sutra. Dhamma Prajna Paramita Hridaya Sutra. The Bodhisattva of great compassion, from the deep practice of prajna, paramita, perceived the emptiness of all 5 skandhas, and delivered all beings from their suffering. O Shariputra, form is no other than emptiness, emptiness no other than form, form is emptiness, emptiness form. The same is true of feeling, thought, impulse, and consciousness. O Shariputra, all dharmas are empty. They are not born nor annihilated. They are not defiled nor immaculate. They do not increase nor decrease. So in emptiness, no form, no feeling, no thought, no impulse, no consciousness, no eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, no form, sound, smell, taste, touch, or objects of mind, no realm of sight, no realm of consciousness, no ignorance, nor extinction of ignorance, no old age and death, nor extinction of them, no suffering, no cause of suffering, no cease from suffering, no path to lead out of suffering, no knowledge, no attainment, no realization, for there is nothing to attain. The Bodhisattva holds on to nothing, the prajna paramita. Therefore, the mind is clear of any delusive hindrance. Without hindrance, there is no fear. Away from all perverted views, one reaches final nirvana. All Buddhas of the past, present, and future, through faith in prajna paramita, attain to the highest perfect enlightenment. Know then the prajna paramita is the great Dharani, the radiant, peerless mantra, the utmost supreme mantra, which is capable of allaying all pain. This is true beyond all doubt. Proclaim now the highest wisdom, the prajna paramita. Gate, gate, para gate, para samgate, bodhisvaha. Gate, gate, para gate, para samgate, bodhisvaha. Gate, gate, para gate, para samgate, bodhisvaha. Dharma prajna paramita hridaya sutra. You may be seated. Thank you. Well, welcome again, everybody. I would like to say Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, and to my dad who's watching on YouTube. Happy Father's Day, and Happy Juneteenth. Today I am going to be talking about the second parable in the Lotus Sutra. It's named The Father and His Lost Son. In some translations, it's the rich father and the poor son, or the wealthy father and the destitute son, but it's got the same feeling. But before I get into that, I feel like I need to give a little bit of backstory into the Lotus Sutra. The Lotus Sutra is tied in with the Heart Sutra that we just chanted. It's a smaller text from or larger text that encompasses the Mahayana, or the great vehicle teaching. Maha means great, Yana means vehicle. So the Buddha in the Lotus Sutra is sitting on this mountain named Eagle Peak, and he's with thousands of his students, monks, nuns, laymen and women, basically merchants and farmers and traders, and everyone is assembled there. And not only regular people, the Lotus Sutra is very flowery, literally, and it goes into bodhisattvas and great beings, gods, dragons, all kinds of things. So it gets into your imagination a little bit. But all these beings are here to hear the Buddha's teaching, and the Buddha is sitting in peaceful meditation, samadhi, or calm abiding, and he's sitting there. And while he's sitting there, before he begins to expound his teachings, flowers start falling from the air like rain, and everyone is cooled down. It's kind of a beautiful image. And as he's sitting there too, a white light starts to emanate from his head, a tuft of hair between his, And that's almost, you can take it literally or metaphorically, but the white light is like the Dharma, the one Dharma. And his teachings are, or skillful means is like a prism. If you think of a prism and you see the light that goes through, and then it becomes multiple lights, red, orange, the rainbow, yellow, green, blue, and so on. And so there's many ways to understand this one teaching. And that's what the Buddha talks about in the Lotus Sutra. There are 7 parables, namely, and there's 7 colors in the rainbow. So it's kind of has some correlations there. When he talks about skillful means, there's a lot to that. It's not something that's you have to be able to hear it. We have to be able to hear it. We have to be able to accept it. And we have to be able to act upon it. And so when the Buddha first starts to teach to this whole assembly of monks, he tells Shariputra, who's in the Heart Sutra, about his inheritance, how he's going to become a Buddha in a future life. That even though he has attained nirvana, one of the many vehicles, and Shariputra is almost in disbelief. So the Buddha explains to him in a parable with a burning house. And I have to start with the burning house before I can get to the Father and the Son. So the burning house parable, or story, the Buddha is telling Shariputra, and who is everyone else is listening. It's like the world, or this father is watching his house burn. And he has his sons in this house, and he wants to get them out. And at first he tries to take them out and save them himself, but they're too distracted by video games or just all kinds of stuff that they don't see what's happening around them. They're burning with anger, they're burning with delusion, and they're burning with greed. And they're stuck in the house. So the father realizes he can't take them out by force. He can't save them himself. So he uses a device, an expedient means or a skillful means. And he tells his son, he knows what they like. There's 3 carts. And in the story, it's a goat cart, a deer cart, and an ox cart. And these 3 carts, he says, you'll be able to do whatever you want on these carts. And all the boys come running out because they want to play with these animals and ride on the carts. And when they get out there, they realize there's only one great vehicle, one great cart, which is carried by an oxen. And so the Buddha is telling this story to everyone around, and Shariputra, and they kind of understand. And he goes into it more, where he's saying his teachings, the first teachings we have of the noble the Four Truths, the Noble Eightfold Path, are one of the many ways in which you can come to the Buddha way, or to wake up and see that there's so much more joy and happiness and compassion and wisdom. But there's also the Bodhisattva way. And he tells Shariputra, what a Bodhisattva, Bodhi means awakening, someone who is waking up. And sattva means character. So it's someone who is waking up to help all beings. And he tells Shariputra, a bodhisattva goes back into the burning house, and he helps people come out. And so there is this idea of someone who is coming and helping anyone in any situation. And that's what a bodhisattva is. So all the monks are hearing it, namely 4 disciples, Mahakashapa, Mahasabudi, Mahakatyana, and Mahamagallana. There's a lot of long names. They're all great disciples. That's why they start with Maha. And namely, Mahakashapa is important in the earlier texts. After the Buddha's death, Shakyamuni Buddha, Mahakashapa organized the assembly of monks to get his teachings recorded. And that's why anytime you hear a lot of the sutras, thus I have heard, or so I have heard. And that's what Ananda's hearing of the teaching. So a little backstory with Mahakashapa and the importance of him being there. He understood the teachings on a more than just the teachings. There's an instance of him when the Buddha is sitting, he is giving a teaching about the nature of awakening. And he just pulls out a flower and he shows this flower to everybody. And the monks are kind of puzzled, but Mahakashapa smiles and he starts weeping, tears of joy. So he gets it. It's a mind-to-mind transmission. So Mahakashapa and these 4 monks in the Lotus Sutra, after hearing the story of the burning house, they say, let me get this right. I want to understand by telling a parable we want to tell you a parable, Buddha, or world honored one, as they call him in the Lotus Sutra. And they tell the parable of the father, the wealthy father, and the destitute son. And so there is this son, father and son. They are close, but the son somehow gets away. He falls away and he gets lost. And he goes far, far away. And his father's looking for him, desperately looking for him. He cannot find him anywhere. And 5 years pass, 10 years, 20, 30, 50 years pass. And at this point, the father has become very wealthy. He's amassed many jewels, many riches, many servants and helpers. And the son is living in poverty. And he has been looking for him, but he has not found him. And just so happened, the son is coming, and he's walking through. And he sees this great house and a mansion. And he sees this wealthy man sitting upon a lion's throne with servants and everyone. And he doesn't recognize the man. But as soon as the father sees the son, he instantly knows, that's my son. I need to get him back. So he gets 2 of his servants to grab his son and bring him over. And when his son he sees these 2 people coming, he's thinking, what have I done? I haven't done anything. What's going on? And he's extremely afraid. And he faints. And his father sees this from afar, and he tells his guards to put cold water on him to wake him up and to leave him alone, because he's not used to this wealth, all these riches. He's used to living in poverty. So the father comes up with a skillful means in order to get his son back. He tells 2 of his disheveled, some more dirtier servants who work on shoveling dung to hire him, and at double the wages, to bring his son as a worker and help him in his kingdom, and at his estate. And once he sees that, he's like, okay, I'm used to shoveling dung. I'm used to doing really dirty work, so I feel comfortable doing that. And he comes and he works shoveling dung as for compost or for whatever they need it to be shoveled. They have a lot of animals in their stalls and everything back then. So he is working shoveling dung for 10, 15, 20 years. And during this time, his father, wanting to approach his son, but not being able to get near him with all of his gold and jewelry and stuff, he decides to take his jewelry off. He puts dirt on his face, and then he goes and he works shoveling dung with his son. And he's an older man, and he doesn't tell him that he's his father, but he says, I am older than you, and you can see me as a father. And so he's like, and his son starts to feel more comfortable talking to this man who is his father, but he doesn't know it. And once he feels more comfortable, the father gives him more duties, and eventually, after the 20 years he had been there, he starts letting him take inventory of his storehouses, all of his gold and riches and everything like that. So he's meeting him at his level. And once the father is on his, he knows he's going to die. He's getting very old. He's getting frail. So he brings the king and an assembly of everyone around to meet, and he brings his son there as well. And he tells everyone in the assembly, "You may not know this, but I have had a long lost son, and I hired him, and there he is. I'm going to everything, all my riches and everything are going to be inherited to him. He will be carrying on my estate." And to this, the son was amazed and he was flabbergasted. But he understood, after working with him and feeling comfortable, that he could do this. He could take that responsibility. So after the monks had told this story to the Buddha said, "You understand." And the monks were like, "You are the father, and we are like your destitute sons. We have been working with the lesser vehicles, but there's this greater vehicle, this inheritance, this Buddha nature within each and every one of us, and we have this in our hearts." And so that story really moved me, and I thought it'd be appropriate to say on Father's Day how we, especially in the West, we have very low self-esteem. I remember I started, being depressed, not feeling like I was worth anything. When I came to I come from a Christian background, and I see we are taught in that tradition that we are sinners at nature. We are not worthy. And these stories of the Lotus Sutra and of these parables that the Buddha teaches says the opposite. We are not worthy. We are, and we have this golden Buddha awakened nature within us, but we are each in our own burning houses. We're burning with anger, we're burning with delusion, we're burning with greed. And the Buddha is not a savior. He can't take you, and he's not a messiah. He can only show you the way. Buddhas show you the way. We have to work with the teachings and work with the way to get out ourselves. And so the story of the son and the Buddha and the father and this inheritance just goes to show how we have this thing. And it's like when we first start in the practice, especially meditation, bringing it back to the practice, we sometimes judge and feel like we aren't worthy of peace and calm. And I'm talking about me personally, at least, I would then judge the judging, and it would become this vicious cycle. And the Buddha teaches not to do that. We the awareness is there, and when we sit with this present moment, with our breath, with the water element, the air element, and we become equanimous. And it's not like we have to get rid of our thoughts, get rid of anything. We just have to come back to the present moment and realize that is enough. And with this parable, we can see that there's so much more to life than just mediocrity, just being stuck in the same routine. And the Buddha shows us that we really have this golden nature within us. Each one of us is a Buddha, and we just have to realize, take all that dung and realize that So with that, please prepare yourselves for meditation. Have any announcements?
A few weeks ago, someone came to me and asked, could I leave some flowers here? Yes. And that got me to thinking. An extremely old tradition in Buddhism to leave flowers on the shrine or a bowl of fruit or a plate of fruit as a sign of respect for the teacher, a respect for the life he led, for the teachings he's given. Now, Kate is probably going to speak to you about the monetary aspect of dana, which we have to have, to pay the rent and the lights. But there's also dana in another form, leaving fruit or flowers as an offering. But also, if you feel like you would like to help clean here, I'm going to point to you because I can't think of anybody else right now. At Kate, talk to her and she can direct you to where you could maybe set up an appointment to help come in and clean. But if you are at the store and you see a box of tea, an interesting tea, people might like that. I mean, we since COVID is, thank goodness, sliding away, we're having tea downstairs. We're going to go through a lot of tea. If you find an interesting tea and you want to bring it in, do so. This is your temple. You want to leave flowers, cut flowers, you want to leave fruit, you want to bring tea, it's your temple.
Thank you. We have announcements for the month of June. The Radical Dharma Book Club is the first Wednesday of each month, so it'll be in July. The next one, the first week July on that Wednesday. Dharma Discussion Group that happens every Thursday morning, 9:30 to 11. The Grand Rapids Board of Directors meeting happens the fourth Sunday of each month. That'll be next Sunday. Buddhist-based recovery meetings happens every Monday in here, Tuesdays on Zoom, Wednesdays at the North Club, Alano Club on College, and then Friday mornings here. And for any more information, you can get on zengr.org. Do we have another announcement?
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Kate, and my Dharma name is Ambo, and I think just about everybody here knows this little spiel I'm about to give, but some of you might not. So I just want to say thank you all for your generosity. It is through your generosity of monetary gifts and service that this temple operates. Without you, it wouldn't be in existence. The monetary donations help cover the things that Hung Su was mentioning, rent and things like that. And the service providers, our clergy, our board, the people that clean the temple, the people that run the recovery room, meetings, that go down and help with tea, those people all make this work. If you want to support this temple and make a monetary donation, you can do so by leaving your donation in one of the Dana boxes at either entrance. You can go to the temple website, zengr.org/donate, and there will be information there. And also, I think you can sign up for the newsletter at the website. And if you're on YouTube, you can go to the bottom of the page on the right and click the button, and there will be donation information there. If you're interested in helping with service, as Hung Su said, you can talk to me if you want to clean. But there's also information in the newsletter. Is there new information on the website about service opportunities too? Okay, so you could go to the newsletter or the website for information on that. Thank you.
And if anyone had any more questions about recovery, you can come to me and I can answer any of those questions. Let us stand and do our closing gathas. Stretch out your legs. page 9. Yes. And we say together, for all unskillful actions ever committed by me since of old, on account of my beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and thoughts, now I atone for them all. Vast is the robe of compassion, a formless field of benefaction. I wear the Buddha's teachings for the benefit of all sentient beings. All beings, one body, I vow to liberate. Endless blind passion, I vow to uproot. Dharma gates without number, I vow to penetrate. The great way of Buddha, I vow to attain. And if we could split the song in half and bow to each other. Thank you all for coming. I hope you enjoy your Father's Day. I invite you downstairs for tea time and socialization. Do we want to take the
Well,
booklets?
leave the cushions here,
The
please.
cushions are fine, but
Yeah,
the booklets?
well, one or two people picked them up, but leave the cushions neat.
Yes. Thank you, everyone.
Neat is a your own definition.